Hey everybody, I wanted to start off by saying Happy New Year. It is now 2013. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday. I know I did. It was pretty nice and quiet and mellow, and that's how I like it. But let me just get back into the swing of things. This is my first review for 2013. I am reviewing the book Skinnydipping by Bethenny Frankel. If you don't know who Bethenny Frankel is, she used to be a Real Housewife. She was on the Real Housewives of New York. I will admit I watched her when she was on there, and she's also the CEO and founder of the Skinnygirl brand. She does health and beauty products. She does the liquor, and she has like a TV show that I think just got syndicated. So she's made a name for herself, and she's pretty well known. And she's written a couple of books that are more health oriented. But the Skinnydipping book is her first attempt at doing fiction, and I will say right off the bat it was a great book. I felt it was. Basically it's about a young girl. Her name is Faith Brightstone. She's fresh out of NYU, and she makes a decision to move to California and become an actress. And like I said, right off the bat, I felt it was really well written. I love the female character Faith. She to me was very charming, because some say her personality may be abrasive, but I found it to be very brash. But to me, I found it to be very charming, and she was written in a realistic way, I felt. So I liked her right off the bat, and she wasn't written as condescending like a lot of female characters are written in these kind of books. So I liked her a lot. And so she moves to LA, and she moves in with her estranged father. He's like a horse trainer, and he's kind of well known in California. Like, you'll drop his name and somebody knows him, but she doesn't ride on his coattails, and she's not expecting like a real relationship from him. She just wants a little bit of help from him while she's out in LA. And their relationship is naturally strained because he showed a lack of interest of raising her as a child, and she doesn't hold any grudges against that. She figures it is what it is, but and he's dating a young girl by the name of Brooke, and she's like the typical LA girl. She's big boobs, blonde hair, but she likes Faith right off the bat, and they have a rapport where they get along. And Brooke tries to give Faith like the fake reassurance, oh, your father does care. Just because he's cold to you doesn't mean he doesn't care. And Faith kind of just lets it roll off her back. But Brooke introduces Faith to the LA party scene, and it's kind of cool that Faith does have a little bit of a wild side of her. She likes to drink, she likes to go out, she likes to do the typical stuff that a 20-year-old girl likes to do, but she's not promiscuous, and she's not written to be kind of dumb. So I like that about her, that she was kind of street smart. And while she's in LA, she's trying to make a name for herself. Like I said, she wants to be an actress, and she does some industry jobs where she's a production assistant on a TV show. She's a hostess at a well-known restaurant out in LA, and she also tries to go on auditions, and she takes acting classes. And she kind of has an epiphany that maybe she's not meant to be an actress. So she tries to figure out who she is in that sense. And she also kind of does the stupid thing that a lot of women do at the age she indulges in relationships with men that are totally wrong for her. For example, she dates like a producer at one point. She dates like a guy that's old enough to be her father. She dates like an actor that she's attracted to, and she realizes she's attracted to these men, but she knows that she doesn't have a future with them. And I think she acknowledges the fact that she's with them just to be with somebody. And eventually LA becomes tapped out for her. She kind of hits a dead end, and she decides to pack up and move back to New York City. And we fast track to 5 years later. She's in New York City now. She lives in like a shoebox apartment. She has like a small dog. She has like a couple of close friends, and she has like a small business where she sells like vegan muffins. So she's trying to make a name for herself, and she's learning to be more independent, but she's still struggling to find herself in a sense. She's more confident when she's back in New York that she wasn't in LA, but she's still in her early 20s, and she still is in the beginning of her life journey. So she's still struggling to find happiness in a sense. And one day while she's showcasing her vegan muffin business at a food expo, she's approached by producers to do a reality show. And the reality show is basically just become the next quote-unquote Martha Stewart. Or actually the character in this book is a woman named Sybil Hunter, but it's modeled after Martha Stewart. And for those that, are familiar with Bethenny, she kind of did a similar thing in real life, where I think Donald Trump did this thing one year where he had a spinoff of The Apprentice where Martha Stewart tried to find a protege, and Bethenny was actually on the show. And I thought it was kind of nifty that she added this in the book, write what you know. So basically, Faith is approached to go on the show where she could be the next quote-unquote Sybil Hunter. And Sybil Hunter is, like I said, like a model of Martha Stewart, but she's basically Faith's idol. But Faith doesn't jump at the chance right away to do the reality show. She's trying to weigh the pros and cons. And so one night she's having a girls' night out with friends, and she's trying to convince herself that she should just concentrate on her career. She shouldn't worry about love, and she's trying to raise the pros and cons whether or not they do the show. And while she's out at a club, she meets Mr. Right, which is this guy named Harris, and immediately it's love at first sight, and they have a natural attraction to each other. And she wants to kick herself because she just said 5 minutes before, I'm not going to worry about meeting Mr. Right, I'm just going to concentrate on my career. And she thinks she may have found the one, but sure as she thinks she found him, it's short-lived because he leaves with another girl. But that kind of pushes her in the direction of, I'm going to concentrate on my career after all. So she decides to do the show, and upon arriving to do the reality show, she meets her fellow castmates. And it's characters that anybody that watches reality TV, they know these people. There's an alcoholic, there's a drama queen, there's a woman that's snotty, she thinks she's above everybody. There's a couple of hot-headed people, and there's a couple of there's two people that she kind of gets along with. One is a guy named Chaz, who's her teammate on one challenge, but he gets eliminated. And then there's another woman named Sherry. She's she tries to be Faith's best friend, and she's I want to say she's a quote-unquote housewife. She does reality TV anyway. And like I said, she tries to be Faith's best friend, but it's indicated she can't be trusted. But, and then a plot twist when Faith arrives, she learns one of the judges is Ian McGinnis, is the guy that was old enough to be her father back in LA that she dated briefly for a couple of dates. And she learns that he's a judge on the show. So that kind of puts Faith at a disadvantage right away. And it kind of puts her in a bad light with the person in charge of the show, Sybil Hunter. So Sybil Hunter says right away, I don't like you. So that's kind of singles Faith out a little bit. But Faith decides to continue, and throughout each challenge, she proves herself, and she holds her own. But another interesting plot twist throughout the show, during one challenge, she learns that the guy Harris that she met at a club is Sybil Hunter's son. So that kind of brings more confusion to whether what she should do with her life, because she wants to continue on the show, but she acknowledges that she likes this guy a lot. He explains why he left that night, and he puts everything on the table, we like each other, but I respect your decision, that if you want to continue on with the show, I'll leave you alone. So they make that decision. And I like the Harris character a lot, because he seemed to be the total opposite of the men that Faith is usually used to. He's very noble, he's respectable, he comes from money, but he likes to be out of the spotlight. And he provides the stability that she's looking for, and he's always trying to do the right thing, and that's something that she needed in her life. And I thought he was a well-written character, and I also like the fact that he was willing to do the right thing to sacrifice his happiness to make somebody else happy. So that happens, and so throughout the book and throughout the TV show, she questions whether or not she really wants to do the show, because throughout each challenge, she questions her self-worth, and she questions whether or not it's all this worth it. So she's questioning her future and what she wants her future to be, and she questions whether or not she should try to pursue things with Harris, or should she try to just pick a career. And so she's at a crossroads whether or not she should pick true love or pick a career or she's trying to find a happy medium, I guess. And throughout the whole process, she begins to feel isolated because she has like a falling out with each castmate down the road. And then you get to the climax where it's the last three people standing. It's her supposedly best friend Sherry, and one other person, and they have like a big confrontation, and Faith eventually gets stabbed in the back by Sherry. And also it comes to light that Faith knows Harris, like Sybil learns about that. So a lot of things come to light at that point, and Faith feels very isolated and very alone. But then it cuts to right before the finale. Like, they have like a month or so break before they tape the live finale. It comes down to Sherry and Faith, whoever wins the title of the show. So they all have a break, and Faith and Harris decide to have like a secret relationship. And it's kind of cool that they have a secret relationship, and she realizes she likes him a lot, and she's questioning whether or not she even wants to. She's trying to find like a happy balance. Like, even if she doesn't win the show, she's trying to figure out what to do with her life. And during the show, she makes up like this drink called like a pink lemonade mojito. She actually made it up in LA, but she brought it on the show during the challenge. And she decides that she's going to market it and see if she can make money off of it. And Harris pushes her to do the idea and stuff, and they try to get that going. So even if she doesn't win the show, she has something she can fall back on. Yeah, they go to a meeting, and as they leave the meeting, their relationship comes to light, and their relationship gets thrown in a magazine, so everybody knows that they're dating now at this point. But Harris makes a noble decision to stop seeing Faith, because his mother basically gave him an ultimatum, like, I'll cut you off or you stop seeing her, and, you know, I'll make sure she wins if you stop seeing her. So he wants Faith to be happy, so he does the right thing and just agrees to stop seeing her. But Faith becomes heartbroken because she learns she's pregnant, and she realizes that she likes him a lot, you know, and whether she wins or not, she realizes she wants to be with him. I'm sorry. So it comes down to basically Faith doesn't win, and Harris realizes that his mom went back on his word, and he decides to be with Faith in the long run, and they decide to have their own happy ever after. And basically the book shows that the grass isn't greener on the other side for the person that actually won the show, and for Sybil. Like, karma basically bites Sybil and Sherry in the ass. Like, the TV show that the winner was supposed to have falls through, and then there's a scandal revolving around the reality show, so Sybil Hunter kind of is in her own mess. And so basically the people that did wrong in the book kind of gets karma, you know. So the book basically ends in a typical way. Faith gets her happy ever after. Like, her and Harris get married, they have a child, and she gets her own talk show that's kind of based in the Sybil Hunter way, kind of based on what Bethenny Frankel does now. So I thought that was kind of neat and stuff. And I thought it was a really cool quote that she used towards the end of the book, where she basically talks about her future is wide open, there's no limits, just space and love. And I thought it was a cute way to end the book. And I'll just say overall, it was a great read. It was really well written, like I said. Some people I read some reviews about it before I decided to pick it up, and they said the book may be like a little flimsy, but I actually liked it because it was fast paced, it was easy to follow, a lot of the characters were engaging, the story itself is very engaging. It mirrors the author's life naturally, but it was a smart decision, I think, because she wrote what she knew, but it was an interesting story within itself. Like, even if she didn't make a book, she could make a freaking movie about it. And it just teaches people, especially young women, not to be so dependent on men or just people in general. And it just teaches you can find yourself, just be patient, just take things one step at a time, and just not depend on somebody just to make yourself happy. Just find what makes you happy, but just don't depend on somebody else to do it. You got to do it yourself. And I thought another funny lesson that I learned a long time ago myself is, like, the minute you stop looking for love, that's when it usually comes and finds you. So I thought the book was really cute. A heartbreaking fact about it, though, is that it mirrors the author's life, but at this point she's going through her own crap right now, where she's like separating from her husband. But I'm hoping maybe she can go back and she can remember what she wrote at one point about her future being wide open, there's just no limits, just space and love, and that she can find her own happy balance. And I'm kind of hoping that her and her husband reconcile because they're just separated. But I thought, but you never know. But I thought it was a good read. It's a really cute book. I found it at Barnes & Noble. It took me forever to find it. I should have just ordered it online. You could probably, you can order it online. You can download it on your Kindle or your Nook. Or you can find it at Target. But I advise you to read it. And I also advise you to look up her website, Skinnygirl.com, because she has a really great company. And thank you guys for listening to me rant. I hope to have more reviews soon. I'm going to try to push for once a week, or at least like once every couple of weeks. I want to try to do at least 2 or 3 every month, because I know I've been slacking as far as my reviews go, but I'm trying to get better. And I just want to end this by saying thank you to whoever watches these. I know I've said it several times, my videos are very ghetto and very low budget, but just whoever watches these, thank you, and thanks for being patient, and there will be definitely more to come, so thanks.